My name is Daniel Reese, and for the past month, I've been hearing someone breathing next to me while I sleep. That wouldn't be so strange, except I live completely alone. I don't mean that in a romantic way, or even a sad one. I'm literally isolated. One of only 20 people stationed at Outpost Vega. 6. A research colony on the frozen moon of Callisto, orbiting Jupiter. We're here to study the microbial life beneath the ice, analyze energy signatures, and prove humanity can thrive beyond Earth. It's been 7 months since deployment. I'm supposed to be used to the isolation by now. But lately, something's been off. It started small blank spaces in my memory. Items moved from where I left them. My tablet's data logs edited while I slept. And then came the nights where I woke up certain someone else was in the room. Every time, I'd sit up, heart pounding, flashlight in hand, only to find nothing. But the sheets would still be warm beside me. The first signs. On Outpost Vega. 6. Privacy is rare. Every crew member has a small sleeping pod. 6 feet by 8. A bed, a console, a personal locker, and a tiny viewport showing the endless white of Callisto's horizon. After a long day cataloging samples from the frozen ocean, I returned to my pod one night to find my bed already occupied. At least, that's what it looked like. The blanket was indented, shaped as if someone had just climbed out seconds before. I even swore I saw the fabric rise and fall, just slightly, as if it had retained someone's breath. I froze in the doorway. Control? I whispered into my comm. Anyone near Pod 12? Static. Then Dr. Core's sleepy voice came through. Reese, it's 3 o'clock. What's wrong? Someone's been in my room. A pause. We're sealed in, remember? The only way in or out is through the main corridor. Everyone's asleep. I checked the pod's pressure log. He was right. No entry had been registered for 8 hours. Still, the bed was warm. The recordings. The next day, I installed a hidden sensor cam above the door. The other researchers teased me for being paranoid. Maybe it's cabin fever. Core said, you've been pulling double shifts again. Get some rest. I didn't argue. But that night, I stayed awake, pretending to sleep. At exactly 2:13, the air temperature dropped by 3 degrees. I felt it. An invisible draft across my face. My comm link crackled faintly with static. Then the bed dipped beside me. Not violently, not fast, just the slow, unmistakable weight of a body settling down. I held my breath. I could hear it. Breathing, rhythmic, shallow, right beside my ear. I turned on the lights. Nothing. The sheet was smooth again, my camera light blinking softly. The next morning I checked the footage. From 2:13 to 2:15, the video glitched. Horizontal lines distorting the image, static consuming everything. And for one frame, just one, a faint outline appeared beside me. A human silhouette, curled under the blanket. No facial features. No heat signature. But the timestamp was real. Someone, or something, had been there. The whisper in the dark. I took the footage to Commander Shale, the outpost head. She watched in silence, arms crossed, eyes narrowing. You're sure you didn't falsify this? With what equipment? Look at the timestamp. Sensor logs match perfectly. She sighed. Maybe interference. We've had radiation anomalies since last week's solar storm. It could be static buildup affecting your room. I felt it. I insisted. I heard breathing. Daniel. Her voice softened. Do yourself a favor. Transfer to another pod. Get a few days of sleep. I did. Moved to Pod 7, at the far end of the corridor. For 2 nights, everything was normal. Then, on the 3rd night, I woke to a whisper right next to my ear. You moved. I bolted upright, slamming my head on the pod ceiling. The whisper stopped instantly. I turned on the lights, grabbed my scanner, and swept the room. Readings. Oxygen stable, temperature normal, no foreign biosigns. But when I looked at the window, I saw something that froze me completely. A handprint, pale human, pressed against the inside of the glass. The disappearance. Over the next week, two other researchers, Dr. Lin and technician Hayes, reported strange events too. Lin said she heard footsteps outside her pod at night, even though corridor logs showed no movement. Hayes claimed his reflection lingered in the viewport for seconds after he moved away. Then, 3 days later, Hayes vanished. We searched everywhere. Storage, research labs, ice tunnels outside the habitat. His ID chip last pinged near Cryolab B, the one where we stored deep ice samples retrieved from miles below the surface. When we opened the lab door, the lights flickered, and there he was, standing motionless in front of the containment tank. But something was wrong. His skin was pale, almost translucent, and his eyes empty. He turned to look at us, lips parting as if to speak, and water spilled from his mouth. Then he collapsed. The med team rushed in, but it was too late. His vitals flatlined instantly. When they examined the body, they found something impossible. His lungs were filled with Callisto subglacial water, water we'd never exposed him to. That night, Commander Shale ordered all research halted until further notice. Dreams from beneath. Sleep didn't come easy after that. I started hearing the breathing again, every night, exactly at 2:13. But now, it came from inside my mind. When I closed my eyes, I saw flashes of light beneath ice. Structures, shapes, something alive. In one dream, I stood inside the cryolab, staring at the containment tank. Hayes floated inside, eyes open, hand pressed against the glass. Then the reflection behind him smiled. It was me. I woke drenched in sweat, gasping, and heard that whisper again, this time clearer than ever. You shouldn't have dug so deep. The discovery. I began digging through our seismic logs, searching for patterns. What I found made my skin crawl. The breathing, the temperature drops, even the glitches, all coincided with power fluctuations from beneath the base. Something was emitting energy waves through the ice, faint but rhythmic, like a heartbeat. Our excavation drills had reached that layer 2 weeks earlier. Whatever was buried there had woken up. I took my findings to Shale, but she barely looked up. Her eyes were sunken, unfocused. You should rest, she murmured. Commander, listen. Her voice deepened slightly, like two tones overlapping. It's already here. I stepped back. What? She smiled. Not her usual tired smile. Something wider, almost mechanical. And then, for just a second, her reflection in the viewport didn't move when she did. The thing in the ice. That night, alarms blared through corridors. Power surges spiked across every system, plunging sections of the base into darkness. Over comms, I heard screams, then static. When emergency lights flickered on, the main hall was empty, doors open, tools scattered. The floor was wet, not from condensation or melting frost, but water, thick, icy, and smelling faintly metallic. I followed it down toward Cryolab B. The glass tank inside was shattered, and floating in the middle of the room was something humanoid, but not quite human. Its skin was translucent, veins glowing faintly blue. Its eyes were milky, featureless. When it turned toward me, I realized it looked like Hayes, or what was left of him. Behind him, more shapes moved in the darkness. Human outlines, familiar faces. Every lost crew member we thought we'd buried beneath the ice. The truth. I ran back to my pod, sealed the door, and started recording everything. Every noise, every temperature drop. At 2:13 exactly, the lights dimmed again. I gripped my scanner. A second later, the mattress beside me sank. Daniel, a voice whispered. My brother's voice. But my brother died years ago, back on Earth. Look, the voice said. The viewport shimmered, and beneath the frozen landscape outside, I saw movement. Figures swimming. No, drifting under the ice. Not alien, not human. Something between. They wore our faces. All of them. Shale, Hayes, even mine. The realization hit me. Whatever was beneath the ice wasn't killing us. It was copying us. Every time someone vanished, a new reflection appeared. And those reflections were learning, waiting for their moment to surface. We thought we were studying alien life. It was studying us. The final night. Now there are only two of us left, me and Dr. Lin. We barricaded ourselves inside the command hub, trying to send a distress signal. But communication keeps looping back, repeating fragments of our own words, like an echo. Sometimes the echo answers before we finish speaking. Lynn barely sleeps. I barely eat. Last night, I woke to find her standing over me, eyes wide open, whispering, "It's under your skin now." When I shook her, she didn't react, just kept whispering until her voice wasn't hers anymore. That same low, watery tone. I locked her out of the room. I can still hear her pounding on the door, begging me to let her in. But when I check the security feed, the person outside looks nothing like her. Her face flickers, changes, stretches. It's wearing her shape. Now, it's 2:13 again. I can feel the air getting colder. The walls are breathing. I can't tell if I'm awake anymore. The shadows on the walls move before I do. My reflection smiles even when I don't. Every time I blink, the room feels smaller, closer. I hear the whisper again. Every night, someone sleeps next to you. I turn. The bed beside me is indented, the blanket slowly rising and falling. I reach out a shaking hand and pull it back. I see myself lying there, eyes open, smiling. It sits up and whispers, "You're the copy now." The lights flicker, the oxygen alarm screams, and everything goes black. Transmission log, Outpost Vega, 6, recovered 18 months later. Status, base uninhabited. No survivors. Discovery, multiple humanoid figures preserved beneath ice. Identical genetic structure to Outpost crew. Last recorded message, Pod 12. Every night, someone sleeps next to me, but I live alone. Or at least I used to